we are now in the second period of this show, and actually, we're actually going a lot of content, so we probably got to go through this pretty fast still.
That makes sense.
Anyways, we're talking University of Arizona Wildcat hockey. So we're talking about the roster. They just released their roster a couple of days ago.
Monday, exactly.
On Monday. And gotta say, a lot of very interesting things. I'm pretty sure you saw my Twitter post, and I said, lots of fresh faces mixed with a lot of great leadership veterans.
I'm pretty sure I counted it out, and it was about 15-13 the ratio was of freshmen to returning faces. I believe there were only 13 returning players, or it was one or the other. So
the ones that aren't coming back, of course, the Hogans as players.
Right.
I think Dylan Carter's gone.
Yes, he graduated.
He graduated. Who else? I think
you have freshman last year, sophomore this year, Hunter Stavrov. He was a big
left.
kid.
So did Kyle Ferguson. He also left.
Oh dang, we got a lot of there's a
lot
of things.
A lot of really good players left, but a lot of very talented recruits came in.
Absolutely. I mean, these were recruits. Oh, there's quite a lot. I believe there's 5 players who are from Arizona. And I mean, that's, you play for your local team as you would do. But these kids are coming from across the country. It's pretty incredible.
And they're not given scholarships either because this is a club team. And it's crazy because, like I said, we were talking with Tim last week, and he's pretty much said the same thing. These guys aren't getting scholarships. These guys are even transferring over from D3 NCAA schools to play for University of Arizona.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're coming from organizations where it's you're almost have a better chance of winning, I guess you could say. You have the better culture, I guess, around the team. Kids are coming from places like Boston or anywhere back east. There's a really strong hockey culture there, and you're leaving that to come here. And I mean, that's pretty cool to be
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah, to have this kind of such a draw to your team when they seem like such a little market.
I know. At the same time, though, you see TCC fill up several times. I wouldn't say fill up, but
during the ASU games they fill up.
Oh yeah, during the ASU games it fills, and it's you even get the pep band come in, play some music, and it gets fun. Those are
people enjoy the atmosphere. It's the culture of hockey is something that people who don't even like hockey really enjoy because it's the culture of cheap beer and having a good time and being able to be rowdy. It's one sport where it's rowdy but not out of control. Basketball, you can't get too rowdy. Football, you get too rowdy sometimes. And it's nice in between.
Basketball, you can get very rowdy when it comes to college. Yeah,
absolutely.
College, but only college though, because anything else, it's it's a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, people get excited when Golden State plays and Curry hits a 3-pointer, but I mean, beyond that, it's never anything too hectic, too crazy. If you wanted to see college in a sport, it's college hockey. Absolutely. Because you got drunk college kids there, and that's a big summary of what it's all about.
But anyways, back to the roster, though. Last year, I was actually on the other side over there in the production booth interviewing Chad Berman for an article I was writing.
Fun.
And I asked him, name one guy that you recruited this year who you feel very confident about. This guy is a returner, so I'd like to see what he can do this year. And that's Chris Westland.
Okay.
So he said, he's, and I even talked with Toppy Hogan about it afterwards, and I was Chad says he has a lot of praise for Chris Westland. What do you think? He's oh, Westy. Telling him, he's he's one of those guys that, he's always in terms of the young guys, one of the first guys to come back on the ice, ready to go, ready to,
Wow.
And I'm just you know what? We need guys like that. Arizona.
Is he going to be an early pick for captain possibly next season after Ryan Olsen graduates?
Potentially. I mean, if you look at the guys that are probably as returners, a lot of them are older or haven't really seen much of leadership come from them as much as with the from what I'm hearing about Chris Westland, he says he seems like a guy who has that very potential of being a captain in the next couple of years.
And I mean, it sounds like it's a natural born thing. There are some people where it's you got to try, or just you see them when you're working in group projects in class, you see them, they have to try to be the leaders, try to do this, try to do that. But for some people, it comes naturally.
Absolutely.
It definitely sounds like that. And something I want to tackle about the team is not necessarily a player or something specific like that, but overall the team has gotten a lot lighter.
Mm-hmm.
When we talked to Tim last week, he said the team, when he came back, was a lot bigger. Most everybody was over 6 foot, and they weighed 210 or more. This year is the complete opposite. The team is very small.
Mm-hmm.
There are guys who are 5'7", 5'9", 5'10", which, don't get me wrong, you can have people who are 5'10" and still knock you around, but you just don't have that anymore. They've now dropped to 180, 160, and this is probably going to be more of a speed skill team than we saw last year. A really roughhousing team, which is why I think we don't see the return of guys like Hunter Stavrov, because he's still on campus, I'm pretty sure. He's just a sophomore, but he's not on the team because he's that nitty-gritty, chippy kind of guy that I think we might be moving away from.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm looking at this. You're right about, all these guys being a lot smaller. I think the thing is, like, what I've mentioned at least last year when it comes to eras of hockey is it used to really be, the bigger guy, the how you just how you handle the puck and how you handle the stick. Now it's size doesn't necessarily matter. It's that speed.
I think since the rise of Patrick Kane, when he really fit into it, when it was like, Patrick Kane, he's 5'11", he's a small, little, frail, like Goldilocks little kid. There's no way he's going to make it. And then all of a sudden kids were like, wow, he can stick handle and dangle right around you. And everybody's moving towards that. I
mean, I think he's been now considered hands down one of the best American hockey players ever.
Yeah, I mean, he had his 26-game point streak. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's the first player to win the Art Ross in, like, however many years.
The first American to go over 100 points in, like, what was it? In
while,
30
honestly.
years or something like that?
I don't think I was alive the last time it happened. So, yeah, I mean, I think definitely since the rise of him, you've seen, because professional hockey has a big play on hockey at all levels. Because now you have Johnny Gaudreau and you have Tyler Johnson of Tampa Bay Lightning, all small guys, but they play very skillful games, and you realize, hey, this is how we can play in hockey, because people start to realize it's too dangerous, it's too physical. So, in some places, you can still get the physical brand of hockey, but even now that's disappearing. The AHL. Normally, I've seen a lot of grittiness in it, but it's starting to be more skill. College hockey is obviously starting to be more skill, especially in Arizona right now.
Going to the goaltenders, I mean, Arizona right now has 3 goaltenders. The one we know mostly
They actually got one cut, I believe. When I checked the roster, they still have 3 goaltenders? They still have
3 goaltenders. So, yeah, the one we all know the most is Austin Wilson.
Right, now senior.
Yeah, he's now a senior, of course. Last year he played mostly as a backup to Garrett Patrick, and I think now he's seen, he has the experience, he's pretty much has what it takes to be that starting goaltender this year. We're probably going to see a lot of him, but I'm interested to see what we can see from the other two. We have Nolan Bivolchik, and I don't even know how to, Anthony, was it
I'm not sure. I don't even know how to say Nolan's name very well, so...
I'm guessing that's Bivolchik, because I've seen something similar to that.
Right, so it's just naturally how it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
I think their status, almost it doesn't matter how well they do, if they can really take the starting position or not. Their presence there is really going to push Wilson to be the best he can be. Tim touched on that when he was here. He needs that competition. Every goaltender needs that competition. I think that's why San Jose has been so successful, because Martin Jones is good, but Martin Jones knows he has a lot of good goaltending behind him as well. Oh yeah,
I mean, I know in the 2015-2016 season, we knew we as we as fans kind of knew that Stalock wasn't really cutting it as a suitable backup for Martin Jones. He was very inconsistent, whatever. So then they trade and they get a starting goaltender from the Maple Leafs, James Reimer.
Right.
And Reimer pretty much is like, hey, they're going to be like what San Jose called the 1B, because you don't know, hey, he's good enough to be a starting goaltender, so Martin Jones, step up your game. And
challenge him to be better.
So then Martin Jones, all of a sudden, going into playoffs, he has like his first 3 shutouts in like playoff history. Of course, that was his first year of starting, but still, like, shutout, like in the 3 in a row, just like that. Like,
and I mean, he had success when he was in LA and Jonathan Quick went down to, he didn't go down to injury during their playoff run, but when he would just have days off when they needed a change pace, he didn't have a bad save percentage, didn't do bad, so he really came out and did great that year. And I think it was partly due because he was pushed to, even when he was in LA, he was pushed to do better because Quick was there. That was the expectation. Then pushed harder in San Jose because there's other people there.
And now this year is, I actually got a couple of texts from my parents, who actually went to the preseason game against Anaheim a couple of days ago. And my dad texted me, he's like, I really like Aaron Dell.
Right.
He's good. And I'm just like, yeah, he's actually pretty good. And so, like I said, competition in goaltenders, and that's why I want to see what these two guys behind Austin Wilson can do, because that's, if they're pushing the competition to Wilson, then we're going to see a really solid goaltending.
And I think that's true for the rest of the team. You have a super young roster, so the guys who are coming back, maybe there's always going to be a pride thing. It's a team game, but there's going to be the pride of, I don't want to get pushed around, and, I'm a senior, I'm a junior, and I don't want to have this freshman be better than me. You want to think, you feel challenged. Naturally some people are going to be better than you. You find your place, learn your place. Not everybody's going to be Steph Curry, or not everybody's going to be the number one guy. So you sort of just have that competition of, well, how good can I be? Can I be better than my line mate? Can I be better than the person on the top line if I'm playing on the second line? And just, compete with yourself and with the other people around you throughout the entire team. Goaltending is going to be important, but throughout the team, I think, is going to be a really big point, I think.
Yeah, totally. And also, defense, too. I think we touched on it with Tim last week, is there's that one guy who's going to be the leader on the defensive line with Manny Rowe. I'm excited to see it from Manny Rowe this year, as a returner, and I think even I started hearing I heard quite a bit from him last year, and then I think wasn't he the one that tied the game?
Yes, he was. Night? He tied the game in senior night with a few seconds, 7 seconds almost left to go, or something like that.
It was literally to the wire, which was one of the most exciting things to ever.
I'll be honest, when I was watching that, I wasn't last year. I was not, sort of very familiar with the roster, and when anybody who's not familiar with it, you would think Manny's a forward.
Oh yeah.
I totally thought he was. So when I realized and we were talking about it, it's he's a defenseman. I had never even thought to look at the roster and consider that he actually was a defenseman because he was so skilled on offense. So
to make the Sharks comparison, he's like a Brett Burns.
I would say he's a little bit more offensive than Brent Burns is. Brent Burns is, I don't see Manny as the physical presence that Burns is. I see him more as, I can't think of a comparison to the NHL right now.
He's his own guy.
Right, because he's not like your Erik Karlsson that's just pure 100% offense, sucks on defense.
Right, yeah, no, because he can play defense. And
maybe we'll see him grow into Brent Burns this year.
Maybe.
Because he's going to be a sophomore this year, coming off being a rookie and being Rookie of the Year, basically. So maybe now he's going to have that, bulk up. He's going to be older. He's going to be ready to be that physical presence that we honestly need on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, I think since we have about 10 minutes before we talk about, or just instead of skipping our second intermission, just go right to our last topic.
Yes, I think we should talk about the preseason game, and I will hand over my mic to.
You have to hand it over. We can go back and forth.
No, I can hand it over right to our intern here. He's been joining us for the past week. You guys might see us or see him on some of the broadcasts.
Yeah.
So here we go.
All right.
So yeah, we can just have all three of us in here.
We'll do like a round table.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, so on Monday, the Arizona Coyotes and the Anaheim Ducks are going to be playing the first ever NHL preseason game here in Tucson. It's, historically, like I said, it's first ever. This is one of the biggest things that happened.
To be fair, though, we've only had a professional hockey team here for a year, so it's... technically, in a year, it had a chance to happen, but I get what you're saying, yeah.
Still, when we're talking about hockey in the state of Arizona,
it's a big milestone,
Yeah, yes. It's a big milestone bringing an NHL game here down to Tucson. And really, like I said, it's... the teams, you got the Arizona Coyotes, obviously, they're just going to be that team because it's... the major team in the state. But against the Anaheim Ducks, it's an interesting, have an interesting game there. Usually it is a division rival, but...
I mean, they are a natural rival. I hate the Ducks. I hate the goals.
We all do.
LA,
We all
Phoenix,
do.
Yeah.
We all do. But anyways, what do you guys think about this upcoming game? And like, what are the kind of things that you're going to expect from it, or what do you think?
So from the Coyotes side, I think what I'll really look for is the post Shane Doan era in Phoenix. The post, not only Shane Doan meant so much, and he means so much still to a lot of the fans in the organization, and his departure was so painful that I think what I really would like to look for is how the players respond, how the players take that, because I know that they felt what the rest of the city felt and what the rest of the valley felt, and I think that it's the next group of guys that come up that really are going to set the tone for how this next era of Coyotes hockey begins.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. I mean, I think a lot of people here are always advocating for the youth on these teams. When you see them come in,
I'm not gonna lie, that's the only thing Coyotes fans really have to look forward to.
I
wasn't looking forward to Shane Doan playing every night. I wasn't looking forward to any of that. I was looking forward to Christian Fischer when he came up. I was looking forward to Dvorak, Perlini when he got called up.
Domi.
I mean,
there we go, Domi too. Like, there's a lot of youth to be looking forward to.
I mean, it's the case for, I think, almost any team, and I can make the case for the Sharks, is, the Sharks had Patrick Marleau and Joe Thornton and a lot of guys over 30, because, they're the oldest team, but, you have, I would be excited to see, Timo Meyer's playing today, Kevin LeBank's playing today, Ryan Carpenter's playing today.
Don't forget Melker Karlsson.
Pretty
clutch in the finals.
Melker Karlsson, Jonas Donskoy. I'll even throw Tomas Hertl in there because he's still pretty young.
He looks young. He could be 30 and I wouldn't even know, honestly.
And still, I just love his motto.
Fun must be always?
Fun must be always.
I have a poster of that in my room because, whenever I go through hard times, I'm like, fun must be always. It helps me out of that.
That was almost going to be my fantasy hockey team, and I changed it to something that was a little more just generically hockey related. It's like a bear down reference, but instead bar down. But when people say BTFD.
Yeah, we're not allowed to say that here on Camp Radio, so Robbie's a little edgy here.
Which is why I'm only going to leave it at that.
So I'll go off of what our man Zach here said of looking forward to the youth and how they actually develop. I sort of like the point of, I've always just thought, hey, how is this team going to do? How are we going to just develop, not us, but the team going to develop as young guys? How are the young guys going to turn out? Because I'm very big into some of the players. I'm fans of them personally and want to see how they're going to do. But I think it's important also to see how they develop in this place where they don't have that veteran leadership that they were going to have under Doan, and that Coyotes have always been Shane Doan's team pretty much. He's always been a part of it. So this is their first step to, what are we? Who are we? What are we going to be? And not only, it's going to be tough because you have players like Dylan Strome, players like Clayton Keller who are just stepping into the league, need to figure out who they are, but they got to be part of the bigger picture of what is hockey in Arizona and who are we going to be.
Now, question being, when it comes to this game, you having that expectation, how do you really see that? I mean, yeah, it is preseason, but how do you see it, unfolding? Because it is Anaheim. They're one of the top 3 teams in the Pacific, but who do they play? They're going against, of course, like I said, a very young Coyotes team. So how do they approach this? How will Anaheim approach this game? How will Arizona approach this game? And really, how will the game in general just turn out?
I think that both teams should really focus on, getting their chemistry back. They've had a long off season. Both teams have not been, playing in a full-on game mode. Even if it's against you, even a scrimmage is not a full-on game. So they're getting back to a full-on game, and you have to be careful. I heard once that you can never win a preseason game, even though you finish with the final score being in your favor, but you can lose in a preseason game. You get someone get injured, someone doesn't play well, and their confidence is shattered. So I think both teams need to focus on maintaining their team status where they are. Anaheim working to get a little better, and making a push. Obviously, everyone's playing for a cup, but Anaheim's a little closer than the Coyotes are. And for the Coyotes, it's building some form of of a semblance of a team that can work together and get some basic chemistry down as you enter the season.
I absolutely agree with that in terms of the Coyotes. This is their time to figure out who's going to be on the roster, who's going to make it to the AHL, where is everyone going to fit in, all of that good stuff. That is probably the most stressful time of the season, both for fans, the players, and also management, because this is when you're going to see what is your team going to look like. How are we actually going to perform during the season? And I don't think Anaheim's going to have to go through that. Anaheim is very good in the NHL and even better in the AHL. They absolutely destroy the Roadrunners every time they come to town. Their AHL team does. And they've won 8-1. I saw that game. I'm pretty sure that they won 7-2 as well in the TCC already. So it's not like they don't have the Coyotes' number and they know how to get inside all their players' heads and everything. So I don't think it's nearly as important for Anaheim because, I mean, obviously it's always important for you to come out and see who's going to make the roster and all that, but it's not as big as a deal as it is for Arizona.
Well, yeah, because with Anaheim, we're probably not going to see much of Cam Fowler or Kevin Bieksa or Ryan Kessler or any of these, like...
It's basically going to be the goals is what I think it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be the goals.
Which that's not a problem.
Yeah.
They have no problem being the Roadrunners.
The goals are a solid team. I mean, they were what... How did they end up finishing?
I'm pretty sure they were second in their division,
yeah,
which is behind the Barracuda, which nobody could catch.
The Barracuda could be an NHL team, like.
And I mean, the goals are almost there. I would say. I mean, the goals are pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, the way I made actually the joke about the Barracuda like some time ago, where after the Sharks were eliminated, all the young guys from the Sharks went
down to the Barracuda, so that you couldn't stop them. Really, it's just an NHL team down there.
But yeah, so you have those top two teams in the AHL or the Western Conference, whatever you want to say it, and like I said, so have the goals up there, pretty much seeing the goals play in a preseason game. Yeah, I mean, like, it would be more exciting. I mean, just at least for me as an NHL fan to see those players. I mean, as much as I hate Ryan Kessler and hate Cam Fowler and Kevin Bieksa and all those guys, I mean, it would be exciting because you don't see them often down here.
Right.
But, I mean,
I've never seen the Ducks play personally, like in
I
life.
I haven't gone to a Ducks game or a Sharks Ducks game or whatever. It's weird. I still haven't gone to one of those rivalry games. It upsets me. But
gotta figure that out at some point.
Anyways, though, yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out. I know I should be going to the game. I actually just talked to the people from the Roadrunners to see about media access. I probably will be getting that. I'll check again with them tomorrow, but...
I mean, if you don't get that, I'll be there. I am a season ticket holder, so I get free tickets to that game because I pay however much money for my tickets for the Roadrunners, so I'll be there to...
I'm kind of banking on it, though, because I'm reporting on it for a class, so...
Welcome to college, kids. Everything is
It's a gamble.
How to wing it 101.
It's Jenga. You better hope you pick the right one, and you're like, all right, so is it going to work today? Nope. Okay, didn't get that media pass, failed class. Oh well, retake it next semester.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fail the class. I mean, it's an early one. It's just it's a pretty big assignment, but not as big as the other ones that are coming up after that.
I know we're not like a college advice show, but I after going through high school and being here for a few weeks, I gotta say that's a bad mentality to have. Kids, do your work and think of every
all the work,
assignment importantly.
Yeah. I only thought this would be important because of how big, at least how big it is in terms of hockey here in Tucson. So I was like, I have to do
career and everything like that. Yeah.
But
do we want bold predictions? I think would be a good way to end this up.
Yeah, let's put it that way. Let's go with what? Do you want to put a score on it, or do you want to be like? I
think score, maybe a star of the game that you see, maybe from either team. Well, let's stick with the Coyotes because maybe that'll be something we can, or maybe just a player to watch. Will be something good.
All right. Who wants to?
I think you should start. I gotta really think about mine actually.
I got mine. I'm ready to.
You got yours?
Okay. Yeah. My key player is gonna be Domi, because he's got a lot of the attention now that Shane Doan is gone, and he's not the captain, but he's kind of looked to by fans at least as a guy who will be one day. And now that the spotlight's starting to move on him, I think he'll be the key to how he responds in this first game for him, out on the ice without Doan next to him.
What would you have as a score for this game?
I think it'll be a little high scoring. I'll go like a 5-4 game. I think there'll be some goaltending coming around. They'll shift guys out, in and out.
And is this in favor of the Coyotes or the Ducks?
I'm going to go with the Ducks, winning
Okay.
5-4.
Okay. I still have no idea in terms of a player.
Okay, I can continue on then. I'm sure you're looking at me. I can feel like the desperation of,
Sorry.
hey, Rachel, take this over.
Yes.
So I
Thank you.
have a couple of players that I would like to look to. I don't know actually who's going to be playing because I don't know. A lot of players that I've been looking to that like I was fans of on the Roadrunners have not been at camp or anything because they're sort of, I don't know why, they're not technically prospects or rookies, so they've sort of been left out of that. So I would like to see how Michael Bunting is, if he plays that game, because he was, of everybody left on the team that has been signed, and like a bunch of people left on the Roadrunners, and he was the highest scoring one besides Kyle Wood that is still left on the team. He scored 27 points. That's not a lot. So I would like to see how he develops because I gotta say, he's going to be looked forward to as one of the top scorers on the team. As for somebody else, I just have to go with the typical cliche of, if you guys know me, I'm going to go for Dylan Strome. Been a fan of him for years. I actually didn't like him at first, didn't want him drafted by the Coyotes, but quickly fell in love with the type of player that he was, and I want to see how he performs because I haven't seen him play in real life in years, like 2 years, since prospect camp his first year. So it would be interesting to see. He is one of their top prospects, so where he ends up is going to be pretty much how the Coyotes will end up. So my score that I would have to say that it would end at is, I might go for a 4-2 in favor of the Coyotes. I feel like the Ducks aren't going to put a lot into goaltending. They might not even care about what they're doing because the Ducks have been known to do that towards the end of the season when they have good positioning. So yeah, I'm going to have to go with this swings in the favor of the Coyotes.
All right. I'm gonna be quite honest, you guys. Like when it comes to at least these Arizona hockey players, at least the younger guys, like I'm not too keen on them. I don't know enough about them because, like I said, where I'm from, growing up in San Jose, it's like Sharks and Barracuda.
I've grown up in a Blackhawks household, so I sort of get that. I mean, it's sort of been something you have to pick up on.
Yeah. At the same time, though, although I don't pick up on names, I observe how the Roadrunners would play. I'll just see clips and whatever.
Terribly, you mean?
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
Not like a team unit at all.
The same goes for the Coyotes, and then and you see the Ducks and how the goals play. Like I said, it's gonna be a mix and match. Mostly, you're going to see a lot more from the goals, and like you mentioned, they can be an NHL team.
Yeah, and they're a rough team, so their Coyotes are gonna have to adjust to that.
I don't even know how, at least to me, how it would turn out, because preseason, will Anaheim, just take a step back and just relax, or will it be just the Arizona is like, hey, we want to prove something here, let's just really go out and make a punch, or is it both?
Yeah, I think it's going to be both. Arizona's definitely not going to go in there and not, because these kids are fighting for roster positions, fighting for jobs.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, the fact of the matter is that's true. For Anaheim, I'm still going to say it's almost an arrogance factor. They're not going to care.
I want to see, more just, I guess, put it away, just for the locality reasons and because of its probably the atmosphere it's going to be here in Tucson, depending on how many tickets in fact are sold.
It's going to be a lot, I assume. All season ticket holders will be there.
Yeah.
So
then I could potentially see this go in favor of the Coyotes. If I had to give a score to it, maybe they say 6-4.
Oh, so it's going to be like an ASU U of A game now, is it?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I think that's a good prediction in favor of the Coyotes.
In favor of the Coyotes.
I like that. That's good.
Anyways, what time is it right now?
Probably after our time.
Yeah, it's 2:06.
Well, we started late at 1:07.
Yeah, because
so
we were trying to set up a third microphone for our friend Zach here, but
we worked it out pretty well, I'd say. We did a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's 2 feet away from the mic, and you can still hear him pretty well. Meanwhile, I'm right next to him. I'm like, hey guys.
I mean, I think in general you gotta find the right distance away from the microphone or whatever. But
yeah.
Mine's right up against it. Thank you guys.
Hey, we can do.
Close, huh?
Yeah.
What is this, 10 inches away from the microphone. Or something
Okay,
like
we
that.
don't
I
need to
know,
brag about how well our voices carry, boys.
Hey. I mean, I've been, like I said, at least it's something that you just, it comes naturally, comes practice. So.
Absolutely. Maybe my voice will bass out. Maybe I'll sound more like a dude, and I'll be like you guys. All right?
I mean, as long as you don't end up sounding like Beth Mowens, with how deep her voice is. Just like, what the heck? Anyways.
Enough shade being thrown.
Yeah. Anyways, we need to wrap up this show now because I'm pretty sure Jake was waiting outside just be like, why are they taking so long?
Yep.
Anyways, so thanks everyone for listening to Inside the Glass. Be sure to tune in again next week. That's Media Day. So we're going to actually, I think we should try to talk about as much of U of A hockey as possible.
I think that's manageable. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be good. Probably recap what happens on Monday.
I'm told I might get, or I'll say we might be getting another intern. So.
Exciting. And it's not me, even though I should be interning. But that's another story.
I guess just to see how it works with a different setting. Who knows? But anyways, like I said, I keep sidetracking.
That roughs
I
up
keep
this show.
sidetracking. Thanks, everybody. See you guys all next week.
That occurred to me. Did you just not intern? You just skip the process?
Well, the thing is Robbie asked me to be a co-host, and I was like, yeah, I'll be a co-host. And I hadn't done any of the paperwork. It was like, it was before school even started, you asked, right?